await the start of this game and actually the introduction of the starting lineups. The backup goaltender, Göran Haugusta. Hardy Ostrom, the goaltender. This will be a big question mark for Sweden, I think, Tom.
Well, he was the goaltender in the win over the Soviet Union in their pre-tournament game in Sweden. He was the winning goaltender.
And there he is, Börje Salming. Holds the record for points for defensemen with the Toronto Maple Leafs. A team record. And a big hand for Börje Salming, who had a 3-minute standing ovation at Maple Leaf Gardens in the opening game of the series. His defensive partner, at least to start this game, will be Bjorn Johansson, number 9. He's been on 5 World Championship teams.
Number 11, Tord Lundstrom.
Tord Lundstrom spent a season with Detroit and then went to the Wembley Lions in that English Pro League that was short-lived.
Number 18, Juha Winding.
Juha Winding, very familiar to North Americans, as part of the Los Angeles Kings of the NHL.
Number 27, Kjell Arne Wikström.
Kjell Arne Wikström, who has been on 2 Swedish national teams at the World Championships.
Now for the Soviet Union. Dans les filets in the nets, le numéro 20, number 20, Vladislav Tretiak.
Well, there he is. We all know him. 24-year-old Vladislav Tretiak. I thought he played pretty well the other night. Tom, he had some pressure.
Well, I think so, too. I don't think that it's really been his fault, but there are some people questioning his play in this tournament, but I personally don't feel that way.
Now he got a big hand.
On defense, le numéro 4, number 4, Sergei Babinov.
Here's a good hard hitter, Sergei Babinov. Plays with the wings of the Soviet.
What a 20-year-old he is.
Vladimir Krikolov with Riga Dynamo.
Forwards, le numéro 12, number 12, Vladimir Kovin.
Vladimir Kovin with Moscow Torpedo in the Soviet National League.
Number 17, Alexander Skvortsov.
There's another one of the rookies, 18 goals in 34 games last year. He's the smallest member of the Soviet team.
Valery Belousov.
And Valery Belousov, who comes from way out in the Ural Mountains and a latecomer.
Pour le match de ce soir, de cet après-midi plutôt. The officials for this afternoon's game. L'arbitre, the referee du Canada, from Canada, le numéro 6, Monsieur André Lagacé.
There's André Lagacé, the referee for the game, number 6, and the linesman, as we mentioned, Matt Pavlich of the NHL, and Gordy Brossiker, who is with the NHL, but an American.
Brossiker.
So the face-off at center ice. The Soviet Union against Sweden, and from the face-off, Juha Winding pokes it into the Soviet zone. Back to get it is Sergei Babinov behind his own net, shooting it around to Salming at the point. Salming moving in. Salming flipping it in front of the net, but in too deep was Winding. Winding moving in after that puck again. Winding beating it out in front. Nearly went off a leg there. Winding goes after it against the boards, but he can't reach it as Belousov brings it to center ice, only to be checked, and it's sent back into the Soviet end. Babinov clearing it out to center ice and covering up as Salming back into his own end, clears to center ice. Wikström can't get loose. Puck is cleared to the line. Lindstrom, he has it to Salming. Börje Salming is over the line. Salming is checked as he went in by Krikonov. The puck ends up against the boards and will be held there for a face-off.
Typically, the Soviet team, when they get possession of the puck in their own zone, sometimes they don't look too much and they just take the puck and throw it, and Salming was able to keep the puck in when the Soviet defenseman threw it just blindly around the boards, kept the puck in and got a good opportunity early in the contest.
There's Börje Salming heading for the bench. Salming called now the greatest hockey player in Swedish history, and I suppose they're right. He's one of the finest in the NHL. From the face-off now, the puck goes into the corner. After it there is Hedberg. He tries to get a shot away. The puck goes wide of the net. Ulf Nilsson losing it to Vasiliev in the corner. Vasiliev around the net, stopped as he's forechecked, and moving in there is Nilsson. Puck comes to this side. Lentov out to center ice. Walton clears it over the line now. It's Nilsson trying to get it out in front. Eriksson took a shot that was wide, and he goes in deep after it. Behind the net, Nilsson couldn't reach it. Number 17, Ulf Nilsson. Had a great year with the Winnipeg Jets this past season. Out to the center ice area, Walton can't control it. Ulf Nilsson back for it. Nilsson circling back into his own end, drops it back, and Tommy Bergman. Bergman, also from the Winnipeg Jets, dropping it back. Walton Out over his blue line to center ice. Walton clearing it in as he crossed the center line, digging in after it for the Soviets. It is Vasiliev to center ice. That pass went astray. Hedberg goes down, and it'll be called for another face-off. There's Hedberg, and he was part of that great line with Nilsson and Bobby Hull in Winnipeg. Bobby, of course, with good wishes to the group, with a lot of teammates from Sweden playing with Winnipeg. One of the reasons why they had such a great year last year, winning the World Hockey Association Championship. Kulikov back behind his net, clearing it out to center ice. Sjöberg shooting it back into the Soviet end. Kulikov back with it behind his own net. In forechecking there is Brassard. Now Shluktov out over his line. Shluktov beating it ahead. In over the line now comes Balderas, and he just couldn't get free, and it's cleared back out to center ice past LeBronton. Kulikov knocks it down. Balderas to Shluktov. Shluktov couldn't get free, and Shluktov now back into his own end. Luchenko over to the far side. Cutting in front of his net and starting out is Kulikov. Kulikov to center ice. Alexandrov. Little Alexandrov over the line, dropping it off to Shluktov. Shluktov trying to get set, but he chased into the corner. Shluktov gets it again out in front. There's the shot by Alexandrov. Another shot, this one taken by Shluktov and wide of the net. Sjöberg gets it. We've got a delayed penalty here as LeBronton gets the pass out over the line. LeBronton shooting it in, and as it's steered into the corner by Trepchak, the penalty is called. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.
Shield. Float like a cork.
Let's uncork one of these. Fantastic. In a brand new case.
Oh, this is great.
Did you ever stop to think, how are we going to get this thing out of here?
Listen, guys, we'll think of something, right?
It's a good thing that the race is tomorrow and not today.
Right.
Sure. Oh, well, here's to you with O'Keefe.
Balderas gets the penalty for high sticking at 2:57. And we'll get a chance to see this one, Tom.
Well, he just swung around and hit the Swedish defenseman in front of the net with a stick, and he can be nasty, Balderas. He picked up quite a few penalties in the games in Sweden, and he doesn't turn the other cheek, I can tell you that.
Not too many of them to do now on this Soviet team. It's from the face-off. Börje Salming moves in, kicks it along the boards, but then it's cleared out through center ice by Kriketov, and back to get it now for Sweden. It is Johansson. Björn Johansson cutting in front of his own net to Börje Salming. Salming at center ice makes the good move on Kobin, goes over the line offside. As in too quickly was Tord Lundstrom.
Vikstrom here has been, there's one change in the Swedish lineup. Vikstrom, the right winger, has taken Inge Hammerström's spot, and Inge reported to be a little hurt, having a knee which isn't quite 100%, so there's been a change here.
Johansson from the face-off gives it back to Salming. Salming to Lundstrom. Lundstrom at center ice, clearing it over the line, intended for beating, and he was upended. The crowd is calling for the penalty, and so is the referee. Andre Lagasse spotting that one as beating went over the line. He was just pulled down from behind. We'll get a replay on this one.
Well, Belozov is simply a question of tripping. The pass went across to Wheating. He was moving in, and Belozov just took the skates out from underneath him. And the Soviets have been picking up a great many minor penalties in this series, more than we're used to seeing.
Well, now the Swedes have a two-man advantage, and they will have that two-man advantage barring any further penalties for 1 minute and 21 seconds. That's the time remaining in the penalty to Balderas.
2 minutes for interference at 3 minutes 36 seconds.
You heard it, 3:36 the time of the penalty, interference on Belozov. Let's see how they line up now. Börje Salming will stay out there. Tommy Bergman is moving to the other point position. Ulf Nilsson, Hedberg will be out there. Hedberg number 20. And Roland Eriksson will center the line. Well, they've got some scoring power out there. It's from the face-off. It goes back to the Soviet defense. Vasilyev clearing it down the ice. And Ostrom out of his net. He'll leave it for Tommy Bergman. Bergman, number 3. To Roland Eriksson. Over to the far side comes Hedberg. Out over the line and into Soviet territory. Chased out of the play. It comes back past Salming. And all the way down the ice. Ostrom moves out of his net, and he'll leave it there for Salming. Now they come out. Salming over to the far side for Hedberg. Back to Salming. Salming trying to set up a play. Gives it to Tommy Bergman. He's got a good shot if he uses it. Here's Salming's shot, and it's shot wide of the net. Now around the boards, Bergman moving in. He takes a good hit from Repnev. The puck is loose. Eriksson picking it up. Rolf Nielsen back out to Salming, and his shot is just wide again. Now behind the net. They clear it out in front. It's shot again wide. Hedberg got that one away. Now Hedberg gets the puck from Salming. Cleared in front of the net. There's the shot, and that one was blocked by Tretiak. Behind the net now for Sweden. That is Hedberg. A goal! That is Salming, I believe. No goal. No goal. And there's some shoving going on in front of the net. I missed a lot of that play in front of the net. I think that was the result of the washing out of the goal. We'll perhaps get a replay on this one.
Well, when the puck came out of the corner to Salming for the shot at the point, the official ruled interference in the goal crease. And here's Salming with the shot, and the interference apparently was on Tretiak, and the European teams like to do this, go through the crease, interfere with anybody that's there to get that shot away. But that was unfortunate for the Swedish team because they had controlled the play. Great shot by Salming, and rather than having the 2-man advantage now, they're only going to have the 1-man advantage, and having that goal called back, that has to be disappointing.
Börje Salming had scored a goal while Sweden had a 2-man advantage in the game against the U.S. the other night. Scored, disallowed, ganging up on Tretiak in the crease.
At 4 minutes, 40 seconds.
4:40 the time of the penalty. Interference is the call against Ulf Nielsen. So the Swedes will have a manpower advantage for 56 seconds, or 17 seconds, correction. They'll play even strength, and then Sweden will be a man short. From the face-off, back to Vasilyev inside his own zone. Johansson gets it out at center ice to Salming. Salming over to Lundstrom. Lundstrom over to the far side. The return pass is Johansson breaking in, a shot, and Tretiak down on his knees makes the save. And coming right out of his own end for the Soviets now, it's Krikhinov. A long pass over the line now. It's Balderas, and down goes Arvid Ostrom to make the save. And Salming covers up 2 good moves behind the net, and he'll start out. Good save by Ostrom. Over to Johansson. Johansson has stopped. Maltsev keeps it in along with Balderas. He tried to get it to Balderas. A good defensive play there. Coming out of his own end now, it's Lundstrom. Lundstrom dropping it back. Roland Eriksson. Eriksson to the line. Here's the shot. It deflects over top of the net. Lundstrom moving in after it along with Vasilyev. Vasilyev trying to get it in front. Lundstrom now to Eriksson. His shot is blocked by the defense. Krikhinov going down on that one. And now the Soviet Union has a man advantage. Here's Salming. A shot. And a difficult save there by Tretiak, and he took it off the shoulder. Now around behind his own net, Maltsev. Maltsev passing ahead for Kapustin at center ice. Kapustin moving over the line. Kapustin getting set, hit the post. Off the glove, I believe, of Ostrom when he hit the post. Here come the Swedes again. Brassa over the line. Brassa shooting, gloved by Tretiak, and he hangs on and will have a face-off. Lots of good action. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.
Isn't that beautiful? Easy drinking O'Keefe ale. And you know, it tastes just as good as it looks. Do you know why? Because it's brewed with seedless hops, and they produce an ale that's smooth and easy. Try an O'Keefe. Easy drinking, and isn't that what beer drinking is all about? Here's to you, with O'Keefe.
Face-off will be to the right of Tretiak in the Soviet zone. Stig Salming, number 8, is out there for the Swedish team. He's the older brother of Börje. Plays the right point. Of course, the Swedes are killing off a penalty at the moment, and 32 seconds remaining. As coming out of his own end is Repnev at center ice. Repnev, number 24. Stig Salming stepped into him. And Sweden takes over. Look inside their own blue line. Here's Sherberg at center ice. Sherberg, number 7, over the line. Sherberg faking the shot. Luchenko trying to make a check on him as he goes behind the net. Makes a good move and nearly got out in front. Covering up on the post was Tretiak. Is out at center ice now for the Soviets is Kapustin. Kapustin dropping it back. Repnev. Luchenko at the blue line. Kapustin again. Kapustin trying to get it in front. Maltsev gets that pass to Kulikov. They shake a shot. It went off Schuberg's stick into the crowd, and we'll have another face-off.
The Soviet team liked to get that man off the far side when they have the advantage, and you could see Kapustin hesitate and get the puck right through across the zone to Maltsev, who was alone on the far side. Perhaps there should have been a penalty on this play. The Soviet player Repnev looked back at the Canadian official, thought he was dumped, but there was no penalty on the play. Although there could have been one, possibly, Ron.
Stig Stalming throwing that check against the Soviet player on the far boards. And we're set to go now with a face-off deep in the Swedish zone. From the face-off, Slukov tried to get it back. He was checked out of the play. Tommy Bergman. Bergman turning into the corner. Bergman circling the net again. He'll come out this side. Bergman to the blue line. Drops it off. Wolf Nilsson. Nilsson down the left board. Tried to get by Vasilyev. He is ridden out of the play. The puck is cleared around the boards to the far side. Alexandrov. Alexandrov checked on the play as Walton moved in. Puck is loose and then cleared out in front of the net by Nilsson, and it went all the way to center ice where Bergman has it. Bergman trying to clear it back in. Slukov knocked that down with a stick. Then Hedberg comes up with it. Over the line. Hedberg with that good speed. Tried to get around the defense. Vasilyev covered up. At center ice. Eriksson leaving it for Nilsson. Wolf Nilsson back into his own end. Drops for Bergman. Bergman ducks by the check. Then clears it out to center ice. Hedberg. Hedberg rinked wide. Nilsson has it over the line. That's it. Nilsson cutting in front of the net. Hedberg gets the puck on this side. Clears it right in front. Into the chance for the Swedes. Good move by Olsen Nilsson as he got the pass and was all alone in front of that net, and Sweden has got ahead by a score of 1-0.
Well, Hedberg just made a terrific play before getting the pass to Nilsson on the far side. He gains possession of the puck, takes his time, takes a pass right across, puts Nilsson by himself. Nilsson makes one little move to hold Tretiak and then slips it into the far corner underneath him when Tretiak sprawls. He just takes his time, fakes the first shot. Tretiak goes down, then he slips it into the open net. Great play by Hedberg and Nilsson. And these two work very, very well together. There's the happy group on the bench for Sweden now.
Well, they had a tremendous year. Nilsson scoring 38 goals and 76 assists with Winnipeg last year, and over 50 goals for Hedberg. Brickenoff from the face-off at center ice. Hedberg and Bergman will get the assist. 7:48 of the period, and it's 1-0 Sweden. Stalming inside his own end, trying to clear it out. He does, out over the blue line, and went right by beating, and the Soviets will regroup in their own end. Behind the net, that's Babinov. Babinov head manning it very quickly. Skvortsov over the line. Skvortsov, number 17 for the Soviets, is into the corner. Skvortsov being checked very, very closely there by Lundstrom, and it goes in against the boards. Referee Andre Lagasse calling it, and the face-off deep in the Swedish end.
I was talking to Coach Lindberg, who's only 31 years old, the Swedish national coach before the hockey game, and he was saying that if they could stay the first 10 to 15 minutes with the Soviet team in the first period here and either come out with a goal advantage or tied, he felt that the longer the game went on and the closer they stayed or got a little lead, the better the chance that they were going to have of winning. They didn't want to get behind in the Soviet team.
Well, they've had one called back on them. Börje Salming scoring when the Swedes have a two-man advantage, but they've got the one on the board, and it's 1-0. On the face-off, Labrotten. Shots on goal, by the way, 7-1 favor the Swedish team. They've controlled the play pretty much, although Ostrom had to make one tremendous save, and there was one goal post. Puck is back into the Soviet end. Maltsev dropping it back. Kulikov over the far boards. Kapustin getting it to center ice. That's intercepted by Brassard. Brassard over the line for Alberg. Alberg shooting. Good save. Rebound. And it's cleared away. Dangerously close. Maltsev at center ice for the Soviet Union. Shooting it in. It's deflected into the corner. Labrotten going back for it. Cleared along the boards. And here come the Swedes once again. Brassard at center ice. Brassard over the line. Clearing it over to the far corner. Alberg going in. Clears it out in front of the net. he turned around on the play and it's cleared out to center ice. Labrotten going back into his own end, bounced off the boards. Soviets controlling it. They try to go in. Number 8 is Kapustin. He goes down on the play. And starting out for Sweden is Stig Salming. Stig Salming to Hedberg. Hedberg is center ice. Over the line with Labrotten. Labrotten couldn't get the pass. Number 20 is Hedberg. He goes in after it. Schluchthoff along the boards, poking it free. Bergman to Hedberg to Nilsson. And his shot. Good defensive play there by Schluchthoff. The puck ends up behind the net. Down goes Hedberg on the play. Coming out of his own end for the Soviets, Schluchthoff. Schluchthoff hits the line, and Balderas couldn't get the pass as he was checked off the puck. Cleared around the boards to the point on this side. Vasiliev, one of the veterans, takes the shot. That's knocked down by a leg. Sweden out to center ice. They're showing a lot of team play here, the Swedish team, as it's cleared over the line. Balderas has it for the Soviet Union. Number 19, one of the fine young stars. Drops it off for Bilyaletdinov. Over to the far boards. That's Alexandrov trying to shoot it in. It deflected into the penalty bench. And we'll have another face-off.
Well, certainly Anders Hedberg, who Bobby Hull considers to be the fastest player in hockey. That line of Nilsson, Hedberg, and Eriksson, every time they're on the ice for Sweden, they're very, very dangerous. And I think they're the people that are going to lead Sweden in this contest. I don't think there's any question about that.
Talk about a year for Hedberg. We mentioned 50 goals, 55 assists, 105 points, and that was 7th in the WHA. We have not had an icing call or an offside in this hockey game yet, which is really interesting. On the face-off, we've played almost 11 minutes of the game. Cleared around the boards. Out to the point, Babinov had it poked by him, by number 11, Lundstrom. Babinov goes back into his own end to pick it up. Babinov deep in his own end as Wickstrom's in forechecking. Gives to Krikanov. Krikanov right pass over the line now. Comes Belisov, and he is checked very neatly by Börje Salming. Börje Salming showing his leadership early in this game, and as the puck is covered up, we'll have another whistle and a face-off deep in the Swedish zone. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.
Ever wonder why Planters mixed nuts cost more than a bargain brand? Let me show you. Take the peanuts out of both tins. Then weigh the cashews, filberts, almonds, and Brazil nuts that are left. Bargain brand, Planters. See, that's the difference. In fact, 1 tin of Planters has more cashews, filberts, almonds, and Brazil nuts than 2 tins of this bargain brand. There are lots of bargains. There's only 1 Planters.
Face off to the right of goaltender Ardi Ostrom. Centering for Sweden will be Per-Olof Brassar. And for the Soviet Union, that is Repnev. He gets it into the corner. Battle for it in there. Trying to poke it free, and now Swedish take control. Alberg clearing it out to center ice, and back to get it will be Luchenko. Luchenko clearing it along the boards for Repnev. He drops it off, and Luchenko will have it again. He leads the rush to center ice. Luchenko over the line, deflected off the stick of Kapustin. Deep into the zone. They pin it in there, and we'll have another face-off. The telecast of this game is presented solely for the interest of our viewers under copyright of Canada Cup of Hockey 76. Any use of this telecast without the express consent of Canada Cup of Hockey 76 is prohibited. The score, Sweden 1, the Soviet Union nothing. We've played 11 minutes and 20 seconds of the first period. Face-off deep in the Swedish end. Schluchthoff. And he will face off against Brassar. Player getting in there too quickly. Sjoberg, the team captain of the Swedes, number 7. Positioning himself directly behind the centerman and from the face-off. Poked free by the Swedes. Trying to come out is Labrotten. He gets it out to center ice. Labrotten getting it again. Then he's tied up by Schluchthoff, and Schluchthoff sends it back into his own end. Back to get it, Bilyaletdinov. He sends it around the board. Brassar picks it up into the corner now. That is Labrotten. Labrotten shooting it out, and Balderas intercepted it. Balderas is over the line. Balderas with all of those moves of his just lost control of the puck. Labrotten ranked wide. Coming out is Nilsson. Delayed whistle on the play and a penalty for holding, and that will be called against Balderas. Second penalties picked up in this game. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.
This is the new 2-4 split from Carling O'Keefe. You've got your 12 OVs for lager drinkers. You've got your 12 O'Keefes for ale drinkers. You've got them both in this neat case at your brewer's retail. You take it home, you put it in your fridge, and invite some friends over for the Canada Cup. O'Keefe and Old Vienna, now side by side in the new 2-4 split.
11 minutes, 51 seconds.
Well, there's Balderas in the penalty box, 11:51, the time of the penalty, and Tom, there's a look at the infraction.
Well, it looked a little more like an elbowing penalty, although the two of them went down, and Balderas was given the thumb for holding.
So the Swedes control it. Hedberg dropping it off at center ice. That's Nilsson. Ulf Nilsson just clearing it in. Digging in after it is Hedberg, but beating him to it is Babinoff around his net, and he shoots it down the ice. Bergman will go back. Bergman behind his own net. Setting things up now. He'll start out himself. Been a fine playmaker, this Bergman. Injuries hurt his NHL career, but he's come back very well in the World Hockey Association. Now back to get it is Salming. Salming on his way out of his own end. Salming to center ice, passing over to the far side. Hedberg gets the pass, controls it. He clears it in front, and Nilsson was just not in deep enough. Now back out to the point. Here's Roland Eriksson to Hedberg. His backhand shot went off the stick of Kriketov into the corner. Soviets, and there's a high sticking call coming here. Perhaps we'll see what gate goes open now. I didn't spot this one at all, Tom. It is going to be against the Soviet player, and for the second time in the game, they will play two men short. So they have had all kinds of penalty trouble in this game.
Well, again, there are just too many minor penalties. They can't continually try to kill off these penalties and then mount any kind of offense. The captain, Maltsev, is questioning the decision with the linesman. Actually, the linesman doesn't call the penalties. The referee went over to give the scorekeeper the penalty, but Maltsev wasn't too happy about it, and it has put his team again in a hole. And when you're continually killing penalties in a hockey game, it's very, very difficult to mount any kind of offense.
So it's Babinoff for high sticking at 12:50. Börje Salming, as we mentioned, did score a goal that was washed out because of an infraction in the goal crease by a Swedish player. That was while Sweden was playing with a two-man advantage. They later scored the goal by Ulf Nilsson from Hedberg and Bergman at 7:48. And that is the only goal of the game so far, but Sweden has dominated things. They have an 8-1 shots on goal margin. That one shot by the Soviets, may I say, really tested Ostrom, and the Soviets also hit a goal post. Börje Salming from the faceoff over to Sjoberg, the team captain for Sweden, number 7. He moves in now, getting a little room. There's Salming shot, and over another shot. The backhand shot taken there by Lundstrom was just over top of the net. Sjoberg moving in. Here's his shot again, and that went off the leg of defenseman Vasilyev and into the crowd.
Now, when they're playing two men short, the Soviet team has gone into the traditional triangle, but the top man, Repnev, is backing too far off from the points, and he's giving those point men, and Sjoberg and Salming can shoot the puck, and they're just moving off that point and blasting it for all they're worth, but he's giving them too much room to move in.
Well, we've seen an awful lot of Börje Salming in this hockey game, as I suppose we would expect to. Played on all the power plays. Ulf Nilsson chased out of the face-off circle. Lundstrom will now take the draw against Repnev, and Repnev is also out of there, and moving up now will be Vasilyev. From the face-off, moving in is Nilsson. Out to Sjoberg at the point. Sjoberg again getting all that room. Over to Salming. There's the shot. He scored! That time they counted it. A good, clean blast from about 35, 40 feet, and Sweden has taken a 2-0 lead.
Well, as we said before, they can't give those point men that much time. There's Repnev very, very deep in his own zone. The pass comes across from Sjoberg. Salming shoots all in one motion. A very good goal, but he's got all kinds of time and all kinds of room to shoot the puck.
Well, the Canada Cup tournament is young. The Swedes have been the only team to have a two-man advantage, and they've had that 3 times. They've scored twice, both by Salming. almost a third time, again by Salming, but on that particular two-man advantage, it was washed out, as we mentioned. So Börje Salming is the wheelman, really, and the gunner on their power play. Here's another look at this.
Here's the pass from Schoberg across. Salming doesn't wait at all. He shoots it all in one motion, beats Tretiak cleanly, but a very good shot from the point, and of course, Börje Salming, that's one of the things he does very, very well. He can shoot that puck.
Salming from Schoberg and Ulf Nilsson at 13-12, and a power play goal has put Sweden in front 2-0. Here comes Salming again. They still have a manpower advantage for another minute and 28 seconds. Puck is sent deep into the Soviet zone. Around his own net, Kulikov, he tried to get loose. Roland Eriksson loses his stick, and the puck goes against the boards. Cleared out to the blue line, not out. Tommy Bergman trying to control it there, and he shot it back into the Soviet zone, and we're going to have a penalty to Ulf Nilsson here. This is Canada Cup 76 on CTV.
Presenting the first draw of Lotto Canada, with total available prize money of more than $32 million cash, tax-free. Lotto Canada tickets are on sale now at banks, Caisse Populaires, most trust companies, some credit unions, and retailers all across Canada. And there are 12 $1 million grand prizes available, including, as a special for the first draw, 3 extra $1 million grand prizes. Lotto Canada. Buy your tickets now.
Well, that's Anders Hedberg there, and a bit of a charge. Tom.
Yes, he was getting a little frustrated. Here he is, just taking a run. Actually charging is more than 2 steps, and he took the Soviet player into the boards, and he's given the thumb.
13:35 the time of the penalty. The team's playing at even strength. It's from the face-off Alexandrov, circling deep into his own end. Alexandrov cutting away from the forechecking there of Eriksson, gets it to center ice, and then tries for that long pass to Schlukov that failed to work. Benson playing up on it. Now here's Börje Salming. Salming over to Eriksson. Eriksson's over the line. He'll take the shot. That is on Tretiak. He was slightly handcuffed on it, but managed to hang on for another face-off.
Well, Börje Salming is just seeing an awful lot of ice here early in the hockey game, and he's played very, very well today. But he, again, threw the puck ahead, and they're getting shots of Tretiak continually. They hold a definite advantage. The Soviets, as a matter of fact, only have 1 shot on goal, but the Swedish team have really taken advantage of these situations.
Well, they said it may be the greatest Swedish team ever put together, and they're showing very well so far in this hockey game. It's Alexandrov. Little Alexandrov to center ice, number 11 for the Soviets. He couldn't control it. Vasiliev goes back into his own end. Schlukov ducking by, some checking there by Lundstrom, gets to the center ice, over to Alexandrov, over the line. Alexandrov ridden hard against the boards by Salming, and Salming has it behind his own net. Starting out, Börje Salming getting a hand from the crowd as he carries that puck to center ice. Salming to Johansson. Johansson is over the line. Johansson digging against the boards on this side. To Lundstrom at the point. Here's the shot, easily cleared away by Tretiak. Behind the net, Lundstrom digging for it and poking it away, and controlling the puck was Billy Letonov. To center ice to Schlukov, over to Alexandrov on the far side, and he couldn't control. Down goes Salming. Puck is pinned against the boards, and we'll have another face-off. 5:11 remaining in the first period. 1 second remaining in the penalty to the Soviet player. And then the Soviets will have a manpower advantage for 45 seconds.
Well, the Soviet team, it's going to be interesting when they do have this manpower advantage. Their power play typically in the exhibition game with the United States and in the first game with Czechoslovakia has not been very good. Not the outstanding power play that we've seen in the past. And let's see what they can do here, because certainly I think it's been one of the most disappointing parts of their play in the tournament to date.
Börje Salming getting a hand as he goes off the ice. A rare rest for Börje so far in this game. And it seems the way he's played that the whole game has sort of revolved around him so far, the times he's been on the ice. And of the 11 seconds, less than 15 minutes of this game so far, he has been on the ice a great portion. On the face-off, Sweden trying to come out. Stig Salming shooting it down into his own end, and Krikanov will go back now as the Soviets have the man advantage. Krikanov behind his own nets. Out to center ice. Kapustin flipping it in over the line. Repnev trying to get the break on the defense, but he was elbowed out of the play. Puck comes back to the blue line. Babanov knocking it down, giving it to Repnev. Repnev over to the blue line to Vikulov. Vikulov shooting it in. Kapustin against the far boards. Into the corner. Repnev now will try to find an open man. Along the boards. That's Kapustin out to the point. There, Krikanov has it. Back to Kapustin. Out to the point on this side. Babinov. Krikanov into the corner to Kapustin. Moving that puck well. There's the shot. And Ostrom deflected it into the crowd. And with 1 second remaining in the penalty now to Hedberg. Face off again deep in the Swedish end.
Perhaps the Soviet teams should shoot the puck a little more. Typically, they like to work the puck when they have the advantage, take their time. Here's the quick shot from the side. They would like a little better shot than that, but they usually work the puck for one good opportunity and control it. But they haven't been getting those shots on goal, so perhaps maybe they're going to have to take some of those shots that aren't really great percentage shots just to get some on the net.
Puck is dropped. Hedberg comes out of the penalty box, and the teams are playing even strength. Hedberg gets that backhand pass at center ice. Ahead for Ulf Nilsson. Nilsson along with Eriksson over the line. Ulf Nilsson, number 17, tried to get it to Hedberg. That failed to work. Kapustin has it for the Soviet Union. Kapustin over to the far side. Down goes Repnev as he crossed the line. And here comes Sweden once again. Mats Waltin turning inside his own blue line to center ice. Ahead for Ulf Nilsson. Nilsson couldn't reach that pass, and it's called on icing. I think that's the first icing call of the hockey game, where we've had one offside so far, and we have 3:57 remaining in the first period, with Sweden leading by a score of 2-0.
There we see Krikanov. He had a little shoving match with Nilsson in the corner after the play was over. And Krikanov has played very, very well today. He's thrown a couple of long passes to set his forwards free, and he's passing the puck very, very well today.
Well, we've had quite a first period of hockey here. Kovin facing off against Ulf Nilsson. And they are out of the face-off circle, chased out of there by Gordy Brodziker, the linesman. Belousov now will face off for the Soviet Union. On the face-off, it is deflected wide of the net. Eriksson goes in after it. Eriksson, number 12, to Waltin. Waltin behind his own net. Along the boards. Out to Luchenko at the point. Here's a shot just deflected wide of the net. Getting a stick to it there was Ostrom. Now behind the net. Eriksson. And he is pinned in there, and another face-off. Again, deep inside Swedish territory.
Well, Eriksson, it's kind of a strange thing that Nilsson hasn't played center, but Eriksson has been moved between Nilsson and Hedberg, and he's played very, very well. And, of course, the Minnesota North Stars are very interested in this young man.
Interestingly enough, the Swedish top scorer in their first division last year is not playing for the national team. His name is Kent Nielsen, but he's only 20 years of age, and most people I've talked to said he was just a little too young, and they decided to go with some veterans. The decision seems to be a right one, at least so far in this tournament, as Sweden is doing very well. Beating against the boards, number 18 of the Los Angeles Kings of the NHL, playing for Sweden. Cleared down the ice into the Soviet zone. Back to get it is Kulikov. Rink-wide pass at center ice. Belousov, and two lines, the call on that one, and back into the Soviet zone for a face-off.
Well, Kulikov, who threw that long pass ahead to Belousov that you see there in your screen, has been an interesting change in the lineup. Gusev, one of the veteran defensemen on a team that doesn't have very many defensemen, has been benched for this hockey game, and young Kulikov has taken his place today, and really Gusev didn't have a great game against Czechoslovakia the other day.
Well, the face-off at the top rim of the circle. Cleared in front of the net. Belly Letonov dropping it back to Vasiliev. Vasiliev, one of the finest defensemen in European hockey. Out in front. Great save there by Tretiak. Quick shot taken by Lundstrom. Puck is out to center ice. Soviets trying to control. Balderas breaking in over the line, but Börje Salming beats him to it. Salming turning in the corner, controlling that puck again as he has done all afternoon. Coming out of his own end for Sweden. Vikström. Vikström clearing it over the line, right on Tretiak. Tretiak leaving it for Vasiliev. Vikström moves in, throws the check. Ilya Letonov picking up the loose puck. Out to center ice. To the far boards where Salming has it. Börje Salming. Cutting in front of his own net. Clears it out to center ice. Vasiliev at the blue line to Alexandrov on the far side. Alexandrov has to circle back. Checking by the Swedes, very good, and there's Lundstrom picking up the puck. Lundstrom's over the line as Brassau moves up. They clear it rink wide, an open wing. Johansson started to move in after it, thought better of it, and it's cleared out to center ice, right past Balderas. And Salming. Salming behind his net. Passing for Alberg. Albrecht lost that one, and the puck goes against the boards, covering up very neatly with Schuberg. Back to the point, Vasiliev. Maltsev. Maltsev is checked. Coming out now for Sweden is Labrotten. Labrotten hits the line, and he's offside. Too quick on the left wing was Alberg. And we'll have another face-off in the center ice area.
Alexander Maltsev, who you see here, there has been a change forced upon the Soviets through Shalamov's injury, and although Maltsev was at center, he's showing his versatility today. He's been moved on the wing with Rebnev and Kapustin, but he was playing at center with Shalamov the night before, but their line has been broken up because of the injury.
Well, Alexander Maltsev, the team captain, he's played in 6 world championships, and they hope that he would be the settling factor for the young team. As puck is cleared into Tretiak, he just leaves it at the side of his net. And dangerously, it's cleared out to Babinov in the air.